It's almost hard to break the silence. It is hard to break that silence. I didn't pause because I wanted to. It's just, it's a little weird maybe to do this. I've been watching a lot of movies recently, past month and a half, 2 months really. And I don't know if it's because of that, because of those that I want to do this or not, but I wanted to talk. I did this a couple days ago, and I liked it. I wouldn't say I liked it, but it was, interesting, and I'm glad that I had done it. I thought that it'd be bad to just have nothing to talk about. So I thought of something. At first I thought I could just pick things from my room and talk about them. Well, at first I thought I wanted to just sit down and have an hour talk, or just sit for an hour and say what I wanted over a course of an hour. I thought that'd be interesting to do every Sunday, sit for an hour and talk. But then I realized that the challenge of that is knowing what or what not to say. That's a big challenge, I think, in many situations, whether it's in person with people, whether they're friends or in a class or at church or with your parents or whatever, or if it's over the phone, whether it's texting any of those people that I mentioned or any for those reasons, or I think it's often very hard to know what to say. And I think not knowing what to say is extremely understandable, but still a little awkward to go through. So I didn't necessarily want to put the camera through that or the video through that, me not knowing what to say, even though I wanted to do it. I kind of like that. I kind of like that idea now. But anyway, I thought of something to do. I don't want this to be too long. I guess that doesn't matter. I guess that actually doesn't matter. It'll be as long as it is. But that might not be too long. I went on a hike, a brief hike, small hike. It's hard to call it a hike. It's a small hike. Kind of just a walk in the hills on a rocky path with someone, with a girl that I didn't know a couple weeks ago, probably a month and a half ago now. It was interesting. It was more interesting how it happened than I think the walk itself, the small hike itself. I'd like to say that, why that is. I'll stick to what I had thought. On the hike, before the hike, I told her, let's do a small show and tell. And the goal was to learn something important about the other person, or something that was important for the other person, to the other person. I thought that'd be a good way to get to know them, superficially at least. And even getting to know an important part about someone is still superficial until you have a strong rapport with them, I think, actually. So it's kind of funny how, we ask questions to get to know people, but the answers to those questions really don't. The answers to the questions isn't what gets you close to someone. It's the aftermath of that can potentially get you close. How you feel having told it, and how they feel being the receiver. And also what helps you get close to them or facilitates being close is what is opened up after that as well. So I realized that, even though we might be talking about things that are the most important to us, I told her two things. So I brought two things to talk about, to show and tell, and that's what I'm going to do here. So I knew that even if we do this, it doesn't mean you feel close to them or they feel close to you or they get it even. Which doesn't mean that, and the other person isn't there enough to get it. I think it just means human close relationships, friendships, whatever, they don't come from knowing about the person. They come from exposure, and this idea of knowing them but not knowing about them, which is really just semantics there, but there's a connection that is through the feelings of the two people that really needs to be what makes you close. Anyway, my two things, well, I'll do them in the order that I did it with her. This is the first thing. It's a leaf. And there's a lot in so many things in our life. I'm thinking, the man who showed me this tree, he's dead now. And my eyes teared up some, and that's not because I miss him. It's because I think what is emotional is, or what draws emotion from me is realizing that it might be cheesy, whatever. I think often calling something cheesy is rude. I don't like that word. Is demeaning. It's okay for things to be special and meaningful between humans, for humans, whether they're cliche, cheesy, I got emotional because I realized that a man who's now dead showed me the tree that's my favorite leaf, that has my favorite leaf, and just realizing that he did something that affects me today, that I remember him, that I remember how he sat, how he watched TV, how he walked outside to the door, how he sat and smoked, how he walked around his yard, how his pants hung on him, how his shirt tucked into his pants, how his suspenders held them up, how his hair was combed back, some scars on his nose, his shoes that would be on the porch outside, how he'd chuckle sometimes, how he knew about the trees around his house. I don't know, that all just kind of came to me. This is my favorite leaf. And I dried this leaf on my floor under some books and some pots. I plant things in my room in the wintertime. Why did I choose this leaf as my show and tell? It's not because that this leaf is so special to me. It's what this leaf represented. I got this leaf while I was on a walk one day. I love walks. I go on walks very often. Went on 2 today, for example. Um, I found this leaf on a walk. I love walks. I love the things I see on my walks. I love the places I go to on my walks, even though they're not special places. They become special to me. And they're special just by the fact that that's where I go. That's where I've gone. That's where I'll go again. This leaf's from a tree. I love trees. I plant apricot trees in my room. Done that for the past 2 winters. I love nature. Not in the sense like nature is this beautiful mystery or beauty that when we go into, we connect with the world and something of that sort. I don't think of it like that, and that was like a crude way to put it. I was kind of making fun of people. I love to get in the trees, into the dirt, into the rocks, where I love to hike. I don't know. I love to get outside, into the trees, away from houses. I don't know, but I also love to walk among houses. They're both very nice. So I love being outside. I love going on walks. I love finding things. I enjoy liking things. Collections. This is what that leaf was for me. It's a big part of my life, those things. Whether I told it that in such a way as to make that comprehensible or not. The second thing is this pen. That was what I brought. I've used this pen since my first semester of college. I'm now in my 6th semester of college. And I only started using this pen because I had another pen that I was too afraid to lose. So I started using this one. I love, I haven't done it very much recently, but I love to read. And it's one of those things where even if you're not good at it, even if you might not have done it as much as many other people, even if you don't know a ton about it, even if you're not, the most well-versed or even close to it, and even if I don't do it often now, reading's still one of the things that I consider the most important things in my life. Most impactful, most important, most provoking, most enjoyable, most satisfaction giving, pleasurable experiences. Haven't done it much recently. I don't care to try to say why. I don't know, frankly. Maybe I do. I love to read. I love to write things. I'm not good at writing papers. I'm not good at writing things for people to read. But recording my own thoughts and what I want to say, what I want to record for myself, it's the most important thing in my life, by far. The form of journaling that I do is more valuable to me than anything that I have done, or I think will do. So that's what this pen represents for me. My thoughts, that I record them, that I date them, that I timestamp them. And that's what I explained to this young woman, this girl that I went on a walk with, went on a small hike with. I showed her the leaf, and I showed her the pen, and did I explain to her.